Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you again for joining us for this week's live mastermind call or coaching call. Excuse me. We're actually in the process of getting that changed out. Let me just make sure we're up and going before I continue. And those of you that are on the call, awesome to have you. Yeah, looks like everybody's jumping on board. Awesome. So it looks like we're good. Let me just check one thing. Awesome. Okay, looks like we're good. All right. Looks like people are still hopping in on the call, so that's awesome. Again, thank you for joining us this week, guys. This week is going to be a little bit different. I got a chance to get Dan Toback on the call with us today. Now we're gonna bring him on here shortly. Actually, he's probably in the middle of a crazy project. The guy's busy as heck, and obviously they're doing deals. But really wanted to kind of snatch him away from his busy from his schedule. They're doing tons of deals. They are current customers as well, and Dan's actually partnering with Tom Kroll, which we just recently announced. I think Tom did also announce recently about them being our official Get Your First Deal mentorship program. I'm sure you guys will hear a lot more about that in the coming weeks. But I thought, hey, with kind of leading into that launch, let's bring on Dan. Dan's kind of the behind the scenes guy of that whole operation, and they're just absolutely crushing it in their market. And a lot of times we say crushing it kind of like as a slang and as a way kind of, sometimes we kind of use that in a loosely term, but trust me, guys, these guys are really crushing it. So Dan's gonna take a little bit of time out of his busy schedule and really give us some little feedback, some little tips that can make a big difference. I'm really excited myself to hear what he has to say. So yeah, it looks like everybody's jumping on. So before I start into some of the housekeeping stuff, can a few of you, at least one or two people, tell me that you can hear me and you can see my screen? And because so far, if someone can, one or two people letting me know that you can hear me and see my screen, we can get
Hear
this
you,
call
Adrian.
going. Oh, hey, oh, cool. Dan's on the phone with us. Awesome. All right, Dan. All right. Those of you on this call, just want to make sure everyone's good. So how's your morning going, Dan, or your afternoon so far?
Oh, it's going excellent, Adrian. Just here at a inspection today, and I'm actually in front of the house, and I see one of my buyers right now coming up, just pulling up behind me. So that's a good thing, and they're just inspecting it today for us. So just
Nice,
here in front,
nice.
so you hear some background noise and
Nice.
so.
Okay, cool. Now I know you got limited time, so awesome. Bariki, I can hear and see you. Awesome. So we're good to go. So I want to make sure that we didn't go any further. So before we jump in with Dan, again, we just want to go over through some quick housekeeping stuff. Again, one thing we love here at Investor Carrot, and one way that we help you crush it each and every week, is just through our weekly content. Check out the new. If you guys haven't checked out our Carrot Cast, you got to check that out. This week's release is hiring A players. Right here, Trevor really kind of goes through the ins and outs of hiring high quality employees and really kind of build an amazing team. And that's one of the things that I'm sure a lot of us as entrepreneurs really strive for, is really to kind of have a system and process, right? And a big part of that is building a team, a team that supports your cause, that supports your vision, and really that's within line of your core values. That's one of the things that we talk about. So that's definitely a call to check out. Get to pick Trevor's brain on his process. I mean, he's done really an unbelievable job of putting together the team that he has here at uh, Investor Carrot. So he knows what he's talking about. So if you guys have not checked out that episode yet, please head over there after this call, of course, and check out that call. And then also leave a rating, leave a review. Let us know if that if the these episodes are helping, if the information you're gathering is useful, just any type of feedback, both positive and negative. We're not just looking just for positive, but also any type of feedback you feel like might make that show a lot better. So also, we are rebranding our mastermind calls. So check that out. You'll hear a little bit more about in the coming weeks, which is kind of really what we've talked about for a while now, is that we really need to put together a true mastermind type feature. And these weekly calls we do is really not a mastermind. It's more of a coaching type setting, style, to where you guys are jumping on and you guys are listening to us teach, and then we open up for Q&A. So it's not really a true mastermind. So we're kind of redoing some stuff, and actually we are working on a actual mastermind format. I'm not sure if that's going to be done once a month, or maybe we're even thinking about a specific event. I'm not sure yet, but something to look out for as well. So just kind of be aware that these mastermind calls are going to soon be coaching calls. So just kind of be on the ear out for that. So why we do these calls? Again, we're here to really help you crush it. And the way we do that is really simple. One is we've loaded the websites or the website OnCare.com with a ton of self-guided training. These include the blog posts that we release on a weekly basis. Many of you on this call has a 3 lead per day training. So those are what we refer to as self-guided training. And then there's the one-on-one help. I literally just got off 4 calls this morning, talking strategy to 4 of our Investor Care members, just talking strategy. Now those calls are great. Those are available to you guys, but they do fill up fast. So don't be surprised if there's a 3 or 4 week wait. That's why these calls are important. The coaching calls, because that's where you can actually come and ask these questions and get your questions answered a lot quicker than having to wait 2 or 3 weeks. Again, I love the strategy calls. It's just sometimes I know that there's answers. You don't want to be waiting. That's why we have these weekly calls. These are the calls you want to jump on, and these are the calls that you want to make sure you bring those questions so we can answer them, so you're not stuck and you're moving on, progressing with the sites. Okay, so again, make sure that anytime you're stuck, anytime you just really probably don't know what to do next, get on these calls. And just like we say in each and every week, you get out of these calls what you put in. So how's this going to work? We're going to probably run an hour and a half, and actually Dan needs to be out of here by no later than 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's why I'm kind of breezing through our housekeeping stuff. Make sure that we have enough time to have him go through his walkthrough and his presentation. So, and then at the end of the call, I'm not sure if Dan's going to be finished in time to be able to take some Q&A, but I for sure will stick around if we do have time, and we'll answer some Q&A in terms of strategy with the website. So make sure that you guys are sticking around. So if you guys do have questions, make sure that you're including, please, your website address, what goal you're going after. Everybody should have a goal. It's not enough to just say, hey, I need leads or I want leads. If you guys don't have a goal, that's probably something that you need to first work on. And of course, reach out and I can help you with that. Let us know what you've implemented so far, and also any other questions you have. So make sure that you guys are giving us as much information as possible on your questions, okay? And if I prompt you for more answers, please be on standby so we don't hold up the call. Okay, so and even if you're here, don't know what to do next, that's cool. That's what these calls are for. As I mentioned earlier, it's these calls are here for you guys to get your questions answered, right away. Conversation chat box. They're in the right of your screen. You should have a little chat box or a little bubble. If you want to submit your questions, please do so there, and I should see them. If you guys want to also let me know where you guys are, let's do this. Let's just to make sure that everyone's engaging. If you guys can let me know where you guys are jumping on the call from, that would be awesome. So just send through, give me a quick hello, or send me your location. I would love to see who was on this call as well, because it looks like we got quite a bit of people on this call. So that's awesome. Also, if you are experiencing a fuzzy screen, more than likely, you just got to adjust your setting. There's that little icon in the lower right corner. And if you have an option to choose a higher quality, go ahead and do that. If you're still experiencing some fuzzy screen or some type of low quality, more than likely it is your connection. One way to eliminate that is if you have your browser open or other tabs, maybe social media, those can kind of kill a lot of bandwidth too. So I would just close those out. And plus, it just helps you stay focused on this call as well. So. All right. Weekly dose of awesomeness. I know Dan, we probably have put Dan on the weekly dose of awesomeness a few times. I know he's shared with us a few of their many wins, but this week comes from Tim. It's been a good month. We purchased one flip that will make us 38K to 42K. We have 2 more on the contract to purchase. Combine those 2, we'll make about 38 to 40K, and we have 3 more we hope to have on the contract by the end of the weekend. That will yield 25K. The new site, our AdWords and direct mail are performing well, and that came in through from Tim. So that's awesome. So I'm not sure if Tim is on the phone or on the call, but congrats, Tim. We always love hearing our members giving us feedback on what's working and the deals that's happening because of the website. So if Tim is on the call, that is awesome. So congrats, Tim. Keep us updated on those other 2 deals too. We want to make sure that we get some swag out to you and make sure that we're here for you. So awesome. Would love to kind of, before I kind of go into who I am, any newbies on the phone? Is this your first time? If this is your first time on a coaching call, please let me know who you are. We want to first welcome you to coaching. And just want to say welcome. So if this is your first time, please let me know. But so far we got Cody, Michelle, Steven, Donald, Jim, awesome. Dave, Anchorage, Alaska, that's awesome. Phoenix, George, Baltimore, Adam, Bariki, awesome, cool. All right, cool, man. More people are piling in. So, all right, so. Real quick, if you have not been on a coaching call before, I just want to introduce myself to you. My name is Adrian Nez. I am Carrot's first customer success hero, and we've actually brought on more people in that role as well, so which is cool. Carrot definitely expanding to make sure that the service is there and it continues to grow with our clients, which is you guys. So we always want to make sure you guys are crushing it. And so it's really exciting to see the team grow and really seeing Investor Carrot invest back into you guys. That's one of the things I love about this company. Because remember, I'm still a full paying customer. I'm still a very active wholesaler myself. And it's pretty cool to kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. And it's really neat. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but it's just really cool that I have a vendor or I have a service that I'm paying for, knowing that they're always reinvesting to get better, and they're reinvesting to make sure that the service that they provide is always improving as well. So really cool to see that. I'm head of customer strategy. So if you guys have strategy questions, I'm probably the one that you'll be talking to. If you schedule a one-on-one, I'm the guy that you'll be hopping on the phone with. But that comes from me being a full-time investor, primarily wholesaling, but I do mostly rental stuff. So I still have some, definitely have a portfolio there. Just love entrepreneurship and really kind of some fancy stats. I've been generating leads from my real estate business, really 100% just using the Investor Carrot websites and also YouTube marketing. And also we've been doing a lot of PPC in the last year as well. So I've been full-time since 2009. 2009 is really when I discovered creative acquisitions. And when I say creative acquisitions, I'm talking about subject to lease options, wholesaling. That's kind of the year I discovered that. So ever since back, never looked back. Super passionate about teaching other investors about inbound marketing. That's why I'm really big and very biased to the Investor Carrot website, because it's perfect for inbound marketing. You know, and it just really, I remember when I first discovered Investor Carrot, my first reaction was, man, these guys get it. Because I do have a background in marketing, and really I put a lot into psychology when it comes to marketing. So when I seen Investor Carrot's websites, I just knew that these guys were the real deal. So now I get the chance to share that with other investors, and it's a lot of fun for me. Beach Bum, live in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm one of the, I'm not on site with Carrot. I'm one of the, Pete is the other Carrot member who's out of Baltimore. I am in Wilmington, North Carolina. So we're the only two that's not in Oregon. But we're both we're still full-time investors, and also full paying customers still. So, but I'm the one in Wilmington. So newbies, Donna, awesome, welcome Donna, new to the coaching calls, and she's out of Georgia. Awesome. Steve, we don't do direct mail, so that's not really our forte, because our service is primarily with the websites, obviously, but not sure who I can direct you to. Might be a good question for Dan here shortly. So, all right, let's see. Okay, enough about me. So I want to really kind of just jump into it with Dan. And all right, Dan, you still on the phone, buddy? Let's see. Okay, he might be muted.
Hey, Adrian. Sorry, a call just came in, buddy. How's it going?
There you go. There you go. So, hey, everybody. This is Dan. Let me see. Let me make sure. Let me get you back up there. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. So, can you guys still see? All right. Well, anyways, I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, everybody, welcome Dan Toback. Let me introduce Dan a little bit, and he can kind of dive right into what he wants to share with us today. But Dan is, and his brother, they run. Well, actually, you know what? Let me. I'm just going to turn it over to you, Dan. I think these guys heard enough of my voice. So go ahead, just kind of introduce yourself, the company, and then we can just kind of go from there.
Right. Thanks, Adrian. And guys, just a heads up too, I am again in the field today, so I'm not in front of my computer. If something doesn't come out good, or if you can't hear me, just let Adrian know. I don't have visibility to the chat box either, so you know, just give him a heads up, and I could, you know, restate anything that might go a little bit on mute here. So I appreciate it, Adrian. Again, as Adrian brought up, I am on the Treasure Coast, Florida. I work with Tom Kroll, and I'm the acquisitions manager for our company, PSL Homebuyer. So, you know, here in the local area, and actually today I'm probably going to be getting about 5 to 10 calls while I'm on the line. So if I go mute, it's either that or the connection. But today was really working with your seller. You're not only going to do more, but hopefully have better spreads on those deals as well. So Adrian, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump right into it. And hopefully I will be finishing up at 3 o'clock time. So if you all have any questions, I know as well as other things. So the first thing I wanted to kind of touch on today was building rapport with your seller, and not only building rapport in person, but building rapport over the phone as well. Because I know some of you on the call, I'm not sure how many people we have on today, but I'm almost positive some of you may not even see the houses that you're buying. I'm sure there's some people on here that are doing it virtually, or you know, they're even in their local market don't see all the homes, and then you know, even out-of-state owners, things like that, out-of-state landlords. So building rapport, I guess the first point I want to make on it is it's not only in person you're doing this, but also over the phone in your screening process. And I know with our operation, one thing that we stress is everything from taking incoming leads to the moment we get a testimonial to put on our awesome Carrot page. Thank you, Adrian. Is all about building rapport, and we need that in order to sustain business. It's impossible to sustain a business, especially in this industry where there's a lot of expectations. What we ask our sellers to do is obviously exchange equity for our service. So especially in our industry, you cannot sustain any level of success without building true rapport with your sellers. So as leads come in, right? We either through internet or direct mail or through any other type. You want to make sure that the report process is started as soon as that testimonial after you're closing at the title. That's definitely the case. Like even stuff we're getting through Carrot for sending us something at 1 in the morning, and I would have to talk to that email says, but an email from us, from our company, said received, that their message was received, that will be calling. So, and also as well as text, as soon as they're coming in, there's a way they're getting feedback knowing that we're on the phone. What we ask them, and for me to go through the entire script. To add to that, most of you probably, especially whether you're doing program, starting and kind of learning through free content, which it's not a script. It's at least a conversation call should go. Even if you have a script, or even if you have some type of structure somebody gave you.
Yeah. Hey, Dan. I think you're can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, it looks like Dan's breaking up on his end.
You guys there?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were breaking up there pretty bad. Let's see. I don't know if it was a signal or.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Let me do something.
Sorry about that, guys. We'll see what we can do is about making.
Is that better, guys?
Yeah, that's a lot better right there, actually.
Okay, perfect. I actually took. All right, so if you guys could hear me.
Yeah, that's a lot better, actually.
See, I just got you guys on speaker here. So, kind of going back to what we were discussing, though, with building rapport, you're building it all within that structure. So any type of script you're using, any type of training you're using on how to talk to a seller over the phone, it doesn't negate the fact that you have to have real conversation. Real conversation over the phone can start out from the question, like a fine property, doesn't somebody does anything serious stuff like they're divorcing, there was a death in the family, it's a probate deal, a big one that we have down here obviously in Florida with a lot of older folks. So probate, which some of those are the biggies. But if somebody tells me, hey, listen, I'm just transferring for a job and I need the money, even though we've been trained to go through a certain structure, a script, my next question is going to be, okay, tell me about the house. It's going to be, oh, what do you do for work? Or, oh, where are you moving to? And then he'll tell me, okay, I'm moving to South Carolina. Then I can talk about how I vacation to South Carolina during the winter, and you can go on. And a lot of times that's gonna help me, give me the front edge against the two other people that experienced over the phone, or even there are experienced, but they want to get to the point. Tell me about the house. Tell me about the condition of the property. What do you want? What type of price are you looking for? What's owed on the property? Other questions that are in that same, or in almost every script, you're going to have that same structure. So it makes sense. And I hope that came through okay, because that's kind of the initial piece of the report that I like to kind of put out there first.
So one thing I gather from that, which is I think is really good, I guess I've really never looked at that way, was one of the mindset shift I think you guys that I think all of us can make is always understand that these people are talking to other people. So if you guys can kind of keep that in the back of your mind, that you know what, kind of back to what Trevor talked about last week in his presentation about UPS, unique selling proposition. You know, that's one of the things that I've always liked about Tom on Tom Kroll's program, and and what Dan and their company does is just they really kind of open that rapport. You guys should see some of the videos that these guys have been able to collect from testimonials. It's amazing. I mean, these guys absolutely love Dan in every one of those videos. I mean, they do a great job of building that rapport, and you can tell in these videos that testimonials that they're getting from their customers. I mean, it's not scripted or anything. It's just there's a lot of enthusiasm that just coming out of their mouths, and it just makes for a great testimonial as well. So yeah, so anytime you guys are talking to motivated sellers, always keep in mind that there's someone out there that's also pitching them, I guess you could say. You know, not to say that you want to make empty promises or I'm not saying you guys should say what you need to say. You know, you definitely want to be sincere, but always know that there's someone going after that same lead as well, and you always want to make sure that you're doing what you can to build that that rapport. So um, cool. I think the next thing is you talked to me about follow up too, Dan. What can you jump into that?
Right, absolutely. And again, I'm there, Adrian, just because of the connection. But I gathered from. I'll go right through to follow up. Um, the rapport is going through every step of this as well with the seller, right? So, I can spend a whole one of these coaching calls just going through the rapport. That first, even though it's number one, and we have two more points we're going to be talking about. Number one's the most important. If you build a rapport, you're going to get the deal any day over the negotiation. You can be like, read Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, and you can memorize all these different things about negotiation. And, you can look at any of these guys that are, quote unquote, amazing salespeople, but without the rapport, especially, again, just going back to our businesses, which is, so you're dealing with someone's house, you're dealing with really with in their life, the roof over their head, as they say. So rapport is going to really be the most impactful thing that you're building throughout all of this. But what I would just say is that part of that, again, is when you get to the property, make sure that, again, it's not even, I would say, I'll just go as far to say, people say, oh, look at pictures around the house and ask them about their family. That's, again, I wouldn't even say that's rapport. Rapport is getting to know what the issue is, and it's not always saying that you're the one that can solve that issue. And that's just kind of an FYI. But now with follow up, this is something that's both between you and the seller, and it's also a systems thing. And what I mean by systems is follow up is usually 50% systems that you have. CRM you're using, the way your website with Carrot's set up to where they're getting that email at 1 a.m, and the way that either your VA or the person over the phone, your acquisitions manager, is following up with that seller. So the follow-up is, again, 50% is going to be in your systems and your processes, and 50% between you and the seller. To the systems, and this would be, I don't want to talk about things that are not in my expertise. Our systems are delegated to somebody else in our company, so I would rather not spend the time on the call talking about things that I don't have 100% expertise in. But just as kind of dipping into it real quick, make sure that your website's interactive. Make sure they're getting that answer at 1 a.m. from the Carrot site that's saying, hey, we're going to get back to you first thing in the morning. Make sure that you have a text message call on your CRM that's going out, like letting them know you're going to get back to them, that you received their phone call. Are they selling the home? Also, making sure you have somebody on the other end of the phone to make that phone call. So systems part of it between you and the seller is, if you know that today, making sure you're calling them back If I get a voicemail today, I'm calling them back. I'm going to call them the next. I'll call them every week, and that's so a your assistant. If I call them for a couple of weeks straight, no answer, I wouldn't have made the deal. And that's outfit after wouldn't call it up. That's kind of the first component of it.
Okay.
Still on, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were breaking up a little bit more. Yeah, I think the it's just the audio is just way too in and out. Let's see. Yeah, let's just do the best we can to kind of get through. I know, I mean, it's just something with technology. Unfortunately, there's some things that are just totally out of our hands. Okay. Did you want to go into the third point?
Yes. You there, Adrian?
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah. So again, with the follow-up, is just making sure that you have a system in place to where you're getting to these guys. If you're not getting them on the phone the first time, it doesn't mean that it's not a good lead. That doesn't mean they're ignoring it. It might mean a life situation. They're at work. So I suggest not getting them. Try at different times. Also try via email. That literally told me he didn't over the phone, and we did the rest of the deal over. And he didn't want to talk to me over the phone. He just wanted the whole deal to be done through email, and we did it completely through email, and it was an awesome deal. But he just wanted to know why. But
yeah, and
that was
him
story and utilize all your. Okay, so we're gonna move on to getting the best price, and I apologize, guys, for the bad connection, but we're gonna go to getting the best price.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's cut out. It's
build the report.
Yeah, it's cutting out on us on this side really bad. Can you still hear us, Dan?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. All right. You're cutting out, so if you want to just pick up again.
Yeah. So in terms of getting the best price, if everyone's hearing me, this refers to after the point that you've already built your rapport, that you've already set expectations about how the process is going to work with your seller, and you're at the tail end of that period of that interaction. I have discussed too in the past. So when at the end of the year, when you're looking at your revenue, when you're looking at how much you've made, you're going to either say to yourself, well, it's going in the right direction, or there's always opportunity to make sure that number is higher. And the way you're making that number higher is going to be from deal to deal. Every deal equates, the whole is the sum of its parts. So every deal is going to be equal to that total revenue number. What I do with each and every seller is I'm always in questioning mode. I'm never trying to sell them on it. It's not going to be for everybody. So I try to stay in question mode until that contract is signed. And last question, and I'm going to make this point while the connection is good, but the last question should always be, if when a number is stated, and again, I'm never the first one to tell my number, 99.9% of the time, I'm not. But typically when you're discussing what that number is, your last question always to the seller is going to be, so if we can't, Mr. Seller, if you're telling me that at 50, unless we can do the $50,000 for that home on Maple Street, we're not going to be able to do business. And that's the last question I ask my sellers in terms of price. And the answer is usually, yep, I can't do it. That's my final number. Otherwise I can't do business. Or it's, well, I guess if we can do this, I can still do the deal. They ask, I need to make money on this deal. And I tell them the reason. I'm not telling them anything's wrong with the property. I'm not trying to find excuses of why you can't pay. It's you telling them I have to make money on this deal. It's a business decision. And, you know, there's why you need a certain price, except that you're looking to make money. It's a for-profit business. So I find that, again, in terms of getting the best price, after you've built rapport, after you've set expectations about the sales process with your seller, and again, you're being honest with your seller, it's about asking the right questions, and that supports everything you've been doing along the way. When they know you're there for them, when they know that you are, when you're an honest person, you're setting the right expectations and meeting them. Questions to make sure all that's going to work. The last question, again, is after you've built that rapport already, and after you've set the expectations throughout the process, and after the numbers being discussed, you always want to ask your seller, is that the best you can do? And then the last question is going to be, do this deal, or if the number for this deal, unless it's $50,000, and that's just an example number I'm using, of course, to be able to go forward with the deal, correct, Mr. Seller? And after you're at that point, you're going to get the answer that you want. That's going to be an honest answer. And even after that, once before you sign the contract, typically what I'll do, once you sign this contract, are you sure you want to go forward with this deal? That's going to help you with those of you, and I still get it once in a while. You're not going to stop everything, but who's going to want to back out of a deal, and that happens. But you're going to prevent a lot of that by asking that one simple question before this contract's even signed. Are you sure you want to do this deal? And again, once the deal is closed, because I asked those questions and because I was honest, I get the best testimonials because I didn't hide anything from my seller. They know I was there to make a profit. They know that I was looking for the best price, and they know that I offer the service that, you know, ultimately we delivered. So again, that's kind of the long-winded price, and obviously things there as well if anyone has questions, but hopefully that came through okay.
Awesome. Yeah. So unfortunately, guys, the as great as technology is, the other side of technology is that it can't be so great. It never comes through. But yeah, that we'll have to maybe get Dan another call, and really kind of break down everything, because I know today's been kind of tough with our connection and with all of that, and so I apologize. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I know Dan has to get going, and what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of really take a look, walk you guys through exactly what he's referring to. So as he was kind of going through the three different things, we're going to walk through how you're going to implement on your current website, and then also kind of give you some different options. So I know, Dan, you got to get going. Thank you for doing your best in terms of the technology side of it. And we'll have to hook up again and maybe schedule another call to where we can, we can get everything together, and would love to crush it. And really looking forward to what they're doing in terms of the mentorship program that they're going to launch with Investor Carrot. How many you guys are primarily getting a lot of your deals through SEO and PPC with the website, right? Okay, he's cutting out. So, all right. Okay, it's cool. So yeah, hey Dan, I'll let you go. But we'll connect again. And thank you so much for your time.
Hey, Adrian, you there?
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so yeah, I apologize on that, guys, for some reason. Well, it's just a bad connection. For some reason, it just didn't go well. Let's do this. I'm gonna, he kind of broke down two things that I really want to touch on here. Let's see, go back up here. Okay. Oh, okay. Dan, you there? Are you there? Okay. All right, cool. Let's do this. Now, excuse me. All right, let's do this. Would love a volunteer. Let's get someone's website, and we're gonna really kind of break down what what who's implementing SEO. If I can get a volunteer, let me so I want someone to send through your website. Cool. All right. Okay. All right. So the first one that sent it through was George. So here's kind of what I'm going to kind of just run through as far as what it's saying. And and some of the stuff that guys that I may be talking about may seem so elementary, may seem so simple, but really a lot of time that's really what it needs. That's really all it needs to be. Is sometimes we get so caught up in the whole SEO, lead generation, all these type of different marketing, and sometimes it's just a matter of just keeping it very, very simple. One of the things that really has helped me, I really, really attribute a lot to the success of our lead generation, because we do a lot of PPC, and a lot of my websites are already ranked #1, so we get a good enough traffic to kind of gauge um, if something is effective or not. But we really have a high conversion rate for PPC. Um, on the monthly base, we're doing anywhere from 25 to 40% conversion rate just for PPC. Okay. And I really believe it's because it's what Dan talked about. And one is building rapport. Okay. So many times we make the mistake of getting so caught up in SEO. We want to make sure that our content is optimized. We want to make sure that we have all the right keywords and phrases in here, that we really forget about the big picture, which is the customer, which is building rapport. I mean, you got to look at it this way. Here's a person that's coming to your site that has a situation that they're looking for a solution. They're not looking for a website that's optimized. They're not looking for a site that's I don't know how else to say it, but they're looking for help, right? So it's kind of like you going up to somebody and shaking hands with them. To me, when you begin to have conversation with someone, just a normal conversation, I don't know, there's just something about having a normal conversation that builds rapport, that builds trust, that kind of breaks down walls, whatever. It's not stiff. And it's kind of the same thing with our website. Sometimes we get so caught up in making sure that the keywords in here, we want to make sure that the green, the light is green, right? But which again, all this stuff is very, very important. Hold on, guys. Let me make sure I'm logged in. This is something I've been really emphasizing for a while now, is that sometimes we get so caught up in the SEO stuff. Okay, we get so caught up in the SEO stuff. You know, we want to make sure that our as I mentioned, we want to make sure that all our keywords are in here. We want to make sure that all the right phrases are in here. We want to make sure it looks good, right? Or we want to make sure, you know, our page is green, so it's optimized. So again, all those things are very, very important. I'm not saying that we don't look at those elements. Those things are not saying they're not important. They are. But what Dan was talking about was really simply because he's talking about building that report, and your website, it can kind of be that extension. And it's really keeping it simple. So of course, Investor Care, we have pretty much loaded the content for you to where it's ready to go. I mean, if you really needed to not touch it and keep it as is, that's perfectly fine. That's up to you. But my intent, I really believe, is that you have content that's already in place, but your job should be to come in here and really build that rapport, right? You know, because most of you or all of you should really have an insight of your market. Like, I don't know your market like you do. So each of you should find that one thing. And if you guys didn't watch last week's call with Trevor, I really encourage everyone to be on that call, because that kind of ties into what we're talking about today. Building rapport is part of that, is creating that unique selling proposition. What is it that you have to offer? How do you stand out from everybody else? And how do you communicate that? Okay. So when you begin to focus way too much just on SEO, you know, that's when you begin to lose that rapport. So for me, I really believe it's connecting with that person in that area. So that's why we're really big on localizing the site. Okay. We're really big on localizing the site, because I know for me, a lot of the feedback that I get is, hey, we decided to, we connected, or we reached out to you because I noticed that you're a local company. So I know that people are very, very, you know, that's important to people. And then I always hear people telling us or quoting something from our company page. So we know that they're going to our company page and they're looking at our page and reading what we have to say. And the way we know that is because they're quoting us phrases that we mention. So that shows that we're connecting with them in a you know, in a good way. So really, again, you guys have to really kind of take a good look at just what you're saying in your content. Now, I did a test one time, heat map, and I noticed that the majority of people will only go halfway, which is about right here. I'm looking at this right here. They go about halfway. So for me, all of my important information, or my sales pitch, I guess you could say, is going to all happen above here, because this is what people are seeing if they're scrolling only halfway. Okay. So for me, I want to make my pitch here. All right. Now, again, we have the content in place for you guys when you guys get started, but again, you should be going in there and making those adjustments, making those tweets, making it very personable. Okay. And you know, so if we buy houses anywhere, just that's not really a typical way of how people communicate, you know, then change it out. You know, say things a little bit different. You know, be more personal. Change these pictures out, right? So you really, really want to build that rapport for sure. So let me see. Let's see. So here's the best way to do this too, guys. If you were to, okay, I'm going to go through this website, and hopefully this will kind of give you some insight, guys. So personally, I mean, I love the logo, I love the name, but depending on how you're going to market this website, okay, if your goal is to get this website optimized, where people are going to be coming across your website, without you directing them. I like to go with more of a call to action type logo. Because remember, and you guys heard me say this all the time. So remember, when someone goes to Google, right, this is where everything happens. So people start here, okay? So this is where people start. So this is where someone searches, okay? So you got to imagine this journey that someone's going through. So I need to sell my house fast for cash, and I don't know what to put. I'll just put Chicago, okay? So now what happens is, now this searcher has all these selections to choose from, okay? So now they have the choice of choosing. Okay, now they have a choice. Remember, back to psychology, this person, me in this case, I'm in search mode, okay? I really don't know what these websites are going to tell me. I have no clue, okay? So again, going based off of numbers, 70% of people will always choose organic, okay? So let's just say that I bypass this, and again, they say 32% of the #1 position website will always get the traffic. #2, looks like these guys have both #1 and #2. So what I would do is click on this. So let's say I click on this. Remember, I'm in search mode, okay? And what happens is, me personally, I probably would be a little bit overwhelmed with this, because you know, this one's not bad at all, but to me, it can be better. Okay, so let's take a look. Because remember, if I don't feel like this has to offer what I'm looking for, I'm gonna keep looking. Okay, so this thing should, so this should pop out to me immediately. Because it's kind of, imagine someone who's going through a strip mall, sticking their head through stores. They're not committing themselves to go inside the store. Okay, they're just browsing. And if they see what they're looking for, or they feel like this is the right store for what they're wanting to buy, then they're going to commit to going to the store. But in the meantime, they're still searching until they until they snap out of that search mode. They're going to keep looking. So your logo should always be something that helps them to commit to stay on your website. Because again, they have an option within that first 5 seconds to stay or to go. Okay, so me personally, I like to use something more of a hook, because motivated sellers, they tend to, you can hook them a little bit, you can hook them more by communicating the solution you have than really who you are. Like I always use my website as an example. These guys, don't copy my website. Had so many people be copying it, and again, I don't. It's not a matter. I don't want you guys copying it. It's just what works in my market may not work in yours. And when you guys copy stuff, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice, because you're not figuring, now that you're taking your ability to figure out on your own what does work. You know, you're not working your mind. So you're cheating yourself if you're just copying other people's stuff. So, but you tell me, if I was a motivated seller, which one would hook you more? This, which is We Buy Houses As Is, No Contingencies, Pittsburgh Real Estate Cash Buyers, or iCandy Homes? Okay, which one's going to hook you more, right? This is probably going to be more convincing that, hey, this is what I'm looking for. So now they're going to engage. Now they're going to read more in the content. Okay, and the reason why the logo is so important, guys, or the position of it, and this is why I love Investor Carrot, is the position of the logo is very important. Because here in the United States, remember, guys, we're taught to read from left to right, top to bottom. So when you land on a site, our eyes naturally go here, because again, left to right, top to bottom. So this really is valuable real estate space. Okay, so I like to capitalize on it, especially on my motivated seller side. Again, that's why I'm really big on communicating more of the solution versus who I am. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with putting your business name. That's fine. Now, if you're directing traffic, let's say from direct mail, then I can see why your business name in here makes sense, because you want them to know that, hey, this is me. I'm the same people that sent you a card, right? So that makes sense. But remember, people are just not landing on your site. People are going through all this trouble before they get to your site. So you want to maximize them clicking on your site and then making sure that they engage right away. Okay. So like, here's a carrot site. If this is your site, let me know if you're on this call. Like this one, innovative home buyers. Okay, so that's not bad at all. Now, what I would do is I would really dive in and make sure I'm changing this picture out here, make it more Chicago. Because me personally, it just kind of has that national website feel to it. Even though it's a carrot site, me and you know it's a carrot site because we're used to it. This is kind of our, we've trained ourselves to pick off investor carrot sites, but sellers are not. So I would change this out. So that one's not bad at all. I guess, I mean, I like the tagline. So that's not bad. But so that's the first thing. The back picture, I don't know. I'm having mixed feelings about the back picture. Because one thing I've learned too, guys, and I've shared this a lot, but it's worth repeating, is that perception plays a big role how much someone engages with your website. Okay, here's a good example. When I first got started years ago, a lady had called and she said, she goes, before I fill out the form, I want to make sure that you buy the type house that you buy houses that need a lot of fixing up. And I said, for sure. And so, but it's just the way she said it made me wonder. So I said, ma'am, I said, is there a reason why you don't think that we did? And what happened was, this is before I got Carrot. I had nice pictures of houses on my website. And she thought, again, perception. This is why pictures, you have to kind of balance it out. She thought we only bought nice houses because that was her perception, because I had pictures of nice houses. So you got to be careful on the type of picture that you put in the background. Now, typically, I don't like to use a background picture of a city or anything like this, but I just know Pittsburgh is a pretty proud, blue collar city. So that's why I chose to go with this picture. I usually don't go with a city page like that. Usually I like to go with a neighborhood. But in this case, I didn't, just because I know this market well, and I just felt like it would fit best, just because I know people in Pittsburgh, and sure, and it does very well. So, but anyways, so this picture, you have to ask yourself, could this make me like, here's the word properties 360, okay, is this a home builder that's selling houses? You kind of want to play, the nitpicker, what could people perceive that you are based on your name and the picture that you have? See, that's why right here, if you see, I'm very clear in what we do. There's no questioning. We buy houses as is, no contingencies. We're Pittsburgh cash buyers. Very clear. There's no question. So this one here, Property 360, again, the picture's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But what if when I first saw this, I thought spec homes, and then on top of that, your business name is Properties 360. So I don't want someone thinking that you could be some type of home builder selling houses, even though it's very clear that you have this here and the content shows here. You just never know. Okay. Yeah. So Steve, like, even here's a great point on this one here. Yeah, you guys give your feedback. Definitely. I love hearing from you guys' even perception. So Steven says, I thought the candy site sold candy at first, right? So you see how people have different perceptions. Um, so that's why, again, at the same time, guys, I don't want you to go on the witch hunt, right? I don't want you guys to chase that rabbit down the hole. Okay, we want to keep it simple for you, but these are just very small things I want you guys to kind of have an eye for, because if you begin to have an eye for this with your website, I really believe you'll be a good marketer overall, regardless of what you do, because everything comes down to human behavior, human perception, right? Sometimes as marketers, we get so caught up in our pretty marketing material, they're not effective because we're not putting the prospective customer with the idea in there. We're too caught up in how it looks, how nice it is. I mean, I see it all the time on Facebook. You know, everyone's sharing their ideas, and everyone's kind of too caught up on how cool it looks or how, you know. But to me, it's not about. It's about communicating effectively to a seller, in our case, that clearly communicates what you do, um, what benefits that you offer them. Not necessarily always talking about what you do, but how do they benefit from what you do? You know, what's in it for them? Those are the ones that do very well, is those that have the ability to communicate the benefits, not just the features. Okay, that's why building rapport is so important, because if you can do that, then you get them engaging. Okay, so but first you got to get them through the door. You got them. You got to get them. You got to get them out of search mode so they can come inside, right? So be very, very, again, just something to challenge. I want to challenge you um, to really reconsider. Not saying that what you're doing is wrong or bad at all. I mean, I love that you took action. Love it. I mean, you're taking more action than most people who just started the website. Okay, so but just wanted to challenge you to rethink this part. And then again, I don't know how you're using the website. So if you're using direct mail, this might be perfect, right? So the picture. Me personally, I like the clean background, and I'm going to change it back if that's okay with you, and I'll tell you why. The people that really figured out the science of what's called easy readability are newspaper companies. There's a reason why their newspapers are always white with black text, because they figured out that those are the easiest on the eyes, and it keeps people engaged reading without strain a lot longer. Okay, so I always used to think that you know, newspaper companies were cheap. It's just paper and text, you know. But no, it's because they figured out the science of easy readability. Okay, so I'm just going to change that back to plain white background. Okay, so you see how you make a difference. Again, I challenge you, make your claim right here, even though we have it in here, need to sell your house fast in Baltimore, Maryland. You know, if they say maybe add something, great, you're at the right place. Or you know, again, take into consideration too, guys, what is the state of your market? You know, if you're in a seller's market, there's going to be some things that are just not going to be appealing to that market right now. You know, so what's your front end message? Okay, is does it fit in with the state of your market? Okay, so those are some little things to think about when you're dealing with your content, at least above the fold. Above the fold is what people see first before they scroll. Okay, so that's really what's important to me. What do they see people here? What do people see first? Because usually what they see is really what's going to determine whether they stay or they go. And what they see is, again, their perception. That's why you got to really treat them like babies almost, you know, baby steps. That's why call to actions are so important. You know, stuff like that. So, yeah, so George, the picture for it came from, yeah. So again, here's another thing too, George. Is like, so George said the picture came from a kitchen and the property he rehabbed. Again, it's a nice picture, but then people might think that you only buy nice houses. You know, someone might come to this website and think, man, these guys only buy houses with nice kitchens, because they might be ashamed of their kitchen. Their kitchen might be falling through. And then this picture's really kind of, you'll be amazed just how people think. I've seen it over and over. That's why I'm so big on this. And trust me, another thing too, guys, if when you talk to sellers, ask them questions. Say, hey, how did you find us? Why did you go with us? What was important to you? Is there anything on our website that you felt like gave you confidence that we could be the ones to help you? Don't be scared to ask those questions. That's what I did for years. And I got some really great feedback, really good feedback. And it really opened my eyes more. And it really helped me to focus more on them than on me, right? Because sometimes we play too much on presentation. We want to look good. You know, we want to show other investors that we got a really cool marketing piece, or that, sometimes we got to just throw ego out the door, and just know that sometimes simple is is the best approach. Simplicity, and just simply making the customer happy, which is in this case communicating in a way to they understand and they feel confident that, hey, you know what, these guys can probably help me, because they're focused on me. Because people don't like to be addressed to as a group, they like to be addressed as a person. So that's how you want to have the mentality when it comes to your website. Okay, so again, just some really easy, simple things to consider. I mean, if you feel like this is what's best for your market, please don't change a thing. You know, you might be going after the high-end market. I don't know. But my point is, even if you are, it's always to kind of give you that different perspective. So you're always thinking as you're marketing. Okay. And because again, with online lead generation, you only have 5 seconds for someone to stay and to commit. So you got to be convincing. You got to maximize those opportunities. If you guys are paying a lot of money for SEO, you guys are paying a lot of money for PPC, you better make sure your website is doing a good job communicating. So when they do jump on your site, because you work very hard to obtain that customer, to acquire that customer, you want to do everything possible to keep them on your site. And me personally, I hate to lose someone because they misunderstood something, or they disqualify themselves because they think that they just assume we can't help them because something on my website, they had the wrong idea. So hopefully, George, that helps. Good. He said, good point. Yes, all in caps. So it looks like he kind of gets what I'm talking about. Then the other thing too, guys, big one, our company page. George, if you can, man, I'm sure you're a good looking dude. Get a picture in here. Get a picture. Makes a huge difference. More and more people are going to the company page. It's one of the most visited pages of the Carrot site. So you guys make sure, maximize that. If your competition is not doing that in your local market, man, be the one to be doing that. You guys should be meeting that person at the door with an open handshake, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Don't be that person behind the curtain, because again, there's so many perceptions about real estate investors, right? Maybe in your market, some newscast has been done about real estate investors, or some other people has made us look bad. But be the one that changes that. You know what I mean? Sometimes we walk too much on we're walking on eggshells sometimes, because we're afraid, what people think, or we don't want to offend anybody or whatever. Sometimes just being bold and say, hey, my name is, George, introduce yourself, introduce your smile, whatever you want to do. The one that tends to they always say, bring the skeleton out of the closet, man, that takes a lot off of someone's shoulder, and you'd be amazed how much that builds trust if you can do that. So everybody in this call should have your company page filled out with your pictures. And Make it approachable pictures. Don't be taking glamour shots. I'm not. Sometimes they look too fake. Be sincere. Just like Dan said, build rapport. Because again, building rapport is just not asking questions. It's just kind of being humanize the relationship. Like we live in technology. So much technology these days. We got we got chats, we got all these different technology tools. Sometimes that separates, human from the whole equation. But you should always find ways to be the one that wants to connect with them, because again, they're probably dealing with people that are avoiding them. Be the one that approaches them. So again, it's just a mentality. So let's see. I personally like, so here's the company page. So of course the first one is going to be about our mission. And then I would probably just put it right here under your mission. Maybe put George, or make it fun. Maybe put here under here, who's going to carry out the mission. Maybe is your next header, and then just put your name and a little short bio. Say something short about yourself. And again, too, guys, don't talk too much about your real estate investing career. Okay, I think you just want to be personable. Make the bio about you, but make it about them. Hopefully that makes sense. So talk about yourself, but talk about them. Okay. I probably wouldn't get too much into how, you read Poor Dad, Rich Dad, and you got addicted to real estate investing, and now your goal is to buy 10 houses a month. Sellers can care less about that. Okay. They just want to know that they're going to be taken care of, that they can trust you, right? So kind of build that into your bio. Make it more about customer service. Okay. So I would put that there. So make it fun. So if I were you, so you have our mission, and then maybe the next header, just put who's going to carry out the mission, question mark, and then put your name, and then put a short bio. Just say hello. So does that help, George? Cool. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Oh, let me do this. How many of you are getting leads? I mean, how many are getting traffic right now? Let me know who's getting traffic right now to their website. And I'll definitely go over some of you new, you guys that are new Investor Carrot, and if you've been making some tweets, we'll go over your websites here shortly. But who's getting traffic right now on your website? Maybe your website's ranking pretty well by now, or you're doing PPC. Who's getting traffic right now? Hey, Adam. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Okay. Or it might be Justin. Either hi, Justin, or Adam. Not sure which one of you guys. Is it Justin or Adam on the call? What? Oh, I was looking at your bio. No, for some reason Josh. That's what it was, Josh. Hey, you got to forgive me. I had to flew over the weekend, so no, I know who you. I know it's you, buddy. For some reason, I was so fixated on your last name. Hey, real quick question, Josh. What are you guys using? What are you guys using for your CRM? And are you guys doing a are you guys doing do you guys have an email follow-up sequence that you guys are doing on your motivated seller site? Okay, and you're doing it with Zoho. Cool. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to connect with you guys. I want to reconnect with you guys. I know you guys are getting a ton of traffic. Would love to jump on a call with you and your brother sometime soon. So I'll reach out to you. Would love to kind of get some feedback. Um, okay. Yeah. So one of the things too, guys, I'm gonna really encourage you. Let me see. This includes Josh, I think you guys need to watch this. Let's see. Everybody on this call, I'm gonna challenge you. You may have already, but you guys probably need to watch it again. Let's see. I'm trying to look for old Carrot Cast. Here we go. Everybody in this call, you guys need to watch this. It's inside. If you guys tell me, just say yes. I can send you the link because. But listen to this call. I don't know how many of you got. Josh, did you guys listen to this call with Brad Chandler? But anyways, one thing I love about Brad, so Brad has a company out of DC, and this applies to anybody, even if you guys are starting out. This is something that he said, something that was really good that I'm implementing, is that these guys have bought over literally 2,000 houses in the DC market. They're one of the biggest home buyers, and they're really kind of going nationwide, right? So one thing he talks about is so many times we put so much focus and effort into marketing, which is acquiring the customer, right? But he talked about, and I was guilty of this, so maybe it was just me. So I don't want my conviction to be you guys' conviction. But one thing I think so many of us are so guilty of, and Brad is right. He said that so many times we focus way too much on trying to acquire a customer. We put no time into our follow-up system. And when he said that, I was like, holy crap, that is so true. So what he does now, he teaches how you should create a killer follow-up system along with your marketing. Not just work on marketing, but also work on your follow-up system. And he really gave some really good advice on email follow-up. So if you guys already listened to this one before, guys, listen to it again, because I think anytime you listen to something twice, you always hear something new. So I challenge everyone to listen to this call. But let's do this. Yeah, George says Brad is amazing. Yeah, it's a really good one. It's a really good one. And you want to make sure that you guys listen to it, because I love his philosophy on follow-up. And this is a guy I know for a fact they have spent so much money producing a good follow-up system. That's why they do so many deals. Now they're into wholesaling. Before they were direct buyers, but now they get so much leads. Now they're forced to wholesale. That's kind of funny to say. They're forced to wholesale because they don't want to waste leads. So now they're wholesaling in the first quarter of their first in this whole new venture. I mean, they've wholesaled a bunch of properties already, and a lot of it they attribute to their follow-up system. So which is one of the things that Dan touched on, is you got to have a good follow-up system. So now those of you that are kind of still getting started, let's do this. But Ricky, give me your and I still need to touch base with you too, buddy. I haven't forgotten about you. Send me your email. But Ricky, give me your website address, please. And with your permission, I'm going to go in the back end. I'm going to show you something, or show everybody here something. So now, everybody, I really again encourage you to really. I'm going to show you guys how to go in on the back end of your website to update your email. Okay. Now, this is not the ideal setup, but I want at least it's a start and really get you guys thinking on creating that follow-up system. Me personally, I use InvestorFuse, and that's one of the things that we have scheduled next week is we're going to write a killer, I shouldn't say killer. We're going to write up all of our email copywriting. So we're going to send out emails periodically and just really, I know some people like doing texts, some people like doing emails, but we're working on emails as our follow-up. So, but in the meantime, everybody, okay. Veteran-owned business. Thank you so much, Ricky, for your service, buddy. Love our servicemen and women. Okay. So this is one of the very first things that everybody needs to do, okay? For those of you brand new, okay, you guys are on the back end of your website, okay? So what you need to do is go into forms, okay? Okay, and then the one I'm looking for is going to be the step 1 form. Okay, this is a step 1 form. This is what you see right here. Okay, this is the step 1 form, and it's the same form that's here at the bottom. I believe that one here. Yes. Okay. All right. So what everyone should be doing is going here and going to, I think it was confirmations. Let me see. No, notification. Excuse me. All right, there we go. You're going to go into notifications. Okay. All right, and the one you're going to be looking at is customer auto response. This is the first email that will go out to this lead when they first opt into the step 1 form. Okay, this email comes from your Carrot system. Okay, so this can be very, very effective. So everyone, let me show you how I did that. So you're going to come here and you're going to come to edit. Okay, and right here is the email. Okay, so you got to be careful too, guys. Just want to let you know. Now, whatever the email or whatever they insert, obviously is going to populate in here. So you got to be careful with this coding. But what I challenge everyone to do is read this email and see if this is something you want going out to that first person. Okay, if you need to make some tweets, that's fine. If there's something else you want to add in here, you need add it in here now. You guys can change this up. So, for an example, let's say that, like right here, it says, if you have time tonight, let's chat. I'd like to answer any questions you have and make an offer that works for you. So if you don't like that, change that. Okay, this message should really kind of come from you and thinking customer service. Okay, so and this is something that goes out again. This is something that goes out to them immediately when they first fill out a form. Okay, so this should be kind of something that is either going to help you set up a call with them. It's going to build credibility. One of the things that I've done is, let me see. This is my very first website. This is before I even had a before I had a CRM, but I'll show you what I did. So now, again, some of you may not have, man, this is back in the day. We have a bunch of forms. Okay, so notifications right here, autoresponder right here. So here's one of the things that I did personally. I didn't really make much of the changes. Obviously, I changed out my name, but right here I add this in. P.S. Watch this testimonial. The happy seller tells the whole story and we were able to close and buy this this house within 7 days. So I have a link to a testimonial video. Okay, so if there were, so it had a link to this testimonial. Okay, and this was a real testimonial. Okay, so that's one of the things that I did. So you can kind of find something. Remember, this is someone that just filled out the form. So you need to determine, okay, what needs to go in this email? Okay, can this email help me connect with them faster? Or maybe just use this email in a way to begin to sow some seed of credibility in their minds. And you'll be amazed how many people actually respond to this. Okay. A lot of times you'll get a response and that says, oh, wow, that was quick. And right there, you guys better be on top of that lead, because one, you just wowed them already by that email and they're responding. So they're ready to engage. Okay. So one thing I would do, let's see. Okay. Can you guys still hear me okay? Let me know you guys can hear me. Hell, H-A-L, Hefford, hell. Feels like I'm saying hell, but it's hell. But yeah, we're here. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. Can you guys hear me? I have one person saying they can't hear me, but just want to make sure you guys can hear me fine. Oh, cool. Okay. All right. All right, cool. All right. Just want to make sure. Looks like it. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. But one thing I would challenge everyone to do, again, if you guys really want to go above and beyond your competition, what I would do is I would create a video that you're going to host on YouTube. And that video, I think Josh and Justin, you guys have created videos to where you guys are your own spokesperson. You guys make the videos. So you guys done a great job with that. So what I would challenge everyone to do in this call, if you guys really want to stand apart, get a video out, make a recording, say, hey, my name is George. You know, I'm a local buyer here, right here in, Wilmington, North Carolina. I've lived here in the same, in my neighborhood for the last 10 years. I'm a cash buyer. I make the process quick. I promise you're not going to get one of those guys that are going to hound you and beat you down on pricing. I want to do what's fair. Let me help you. We're going to give you a cash offer. We can close within a couple of days. If you don't want to do a couple of days, perfectly fine. If you got to wait 2 weeks, we can work with 2 weeks. And I promise you, this ain't a scam. There's no gimmicks here. Just be real. Take those skeletons out of the closet. Talk about those things, and then give them a call to action. Maybe that's what you can put on that first email. Introduce yourself. So and acknowledge that, hey, you're probably getting this email because you just opted into my form. Great. What's going to happen is that one of our reps is going to call you in the next 24 hours. Make sure that you take, if you see it on your caller ID, this number, blah, 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 that's us calling you. Make sure you pick up, because I know one of the problems I know we've had is so many people opt in, but we never can get a hold of them. Okay. So maybe make a video that will go on that first email that tells them what the process is. Just like, as I said there, hey, we're going to be calling you within the next 24 hours. Our sales or acquisition person, Kate, she's going to call you from this number, and then give the number. Make sure you guys, if you see that number on your cell phone or in your caller ID, pick up. That's us calling you. We want to help you. Obviously, you wouldn't have given us your information if you didn't need help with get rid of that house. So let's make sure we continue the conversation. Let's not delay this. We want to help you. Something to that effect, right? So that's really a great way to utilize the email, because and I feel like not very many people are utilizing the email, and they're just leaving this as is, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's better than nothing. But again, using every opportunity to maximize the tools that you have. Okay, so that's where you can change it. That's where you can make tweets to the email. But I think that's a great idea, is maybe put an email in there that tells them what's going to happen next. Because remember, they only got this email because they're seeing it because they fill out the form. So this email is relevant to them. Okay, so I really think that this is a great idea for someone. Adam, that's something that we want to work on. But I'm glad you brought that up. I wish there's really no way. That's a good question. I want to say there's no way to kind of delay that because it goes out immediately. But I know me and Trevor have talked about an email marketing system. Again, I don't run with this, but we definitely want to implement a little bit better follow-up email system. So I think right now there's really no way to schedule that initial email to go out. What I've done is I've turned off all of my email with Carrot, and I have it activated on my CRM, so I have a little bit more control there. Or if you guys, one thing you could do is use something like Aweber or MailChimp, or I use ActiveCampaign. Turn off the autoresponders on the Carrot system, and then just run it off of there, and you can start a sequence. I like ActiveCampaign because you can create sequences. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot better than MailChimp or Aweber. It's cheaper too, so it's called ActiveCampaign. So that's who I use. Yeah, you'll definitely need something like ActiveCampaign to do something like that, Josh. So, but yeah, as far as the Carrot autoresponding, yeah, that goes out immediately after someone fills out that first step form. So, but to me, that's a lot better than nothing. And to me, it's a great way to kind of, I think it's a great way to build credibility. I really think, especially these days, I think credibility is a lot more important now. Just as Trevor talked about last week with UPS, it's all about cutting through the clutter and how can you stand out. So if there's other Investor Carrot members in your market, maybe they're not putting effort into their email responder. Be the one that does that. Take that initiative. So. Hell, I don't know. To be honest with you, I have the. Let's see. Good question. It's been a while since I've had them. I have the $9 plan. Well, it went up. I only paid $9. Let's see. Oh yeah. I have right $9. That's what I pay. Yeah, there's I don't remember it being ever free, but I started with 500 and I'm still at this level. But it's $9. It's pretty cool. Ruthie, it's already set up. You just need the autoresponder is already set up. You just need to go into the forms and edit. If I was just showing you guys how to edit if you wanted to edit, but the autoresponder is already in effect, so it's live. Okay, everybody on this, those of you that are brand new with Investor Carrot, you guys should everybody should opt into your website to kind of see what a motivated seller goes through. What steps they go through on your site, then the email that they get. So it'd probably be a good idea for all of you to kind of always go through your system and go through it like a motivated seller would. So you kind of know that journey that they get taken through. So you kind of get a better idea maybe what email. Then that might give you an idea of what email might be good, right? Because you kind of seen what they're getting, you know, and how it's communicated. So, but yeah, it's already set up and ready to go. Okay. All right. So hopefully that was helpful on the email. I just think that it's so important that I just kind of seen that underutilized a lot. Let's see. There's another question. Okay, hold on, guys. Oh, good. Looks like a few of you got a lot out of that email part. Yeah, it's just little stuff that sometimes you may never been aware of. So good. I'm glad it helped. Let's see. I want to make sure. Any other questions? I'd like to know what kind of Facebook pages that you guys recommend to post to. Landon, I'm not sure what you mean. What type of Facebook pages that you guys recommend to post to? Can you expound that a little bit? And I would love to help you answer that. I'm just going through all the questions. Oh, Ruthie too. Ruthie, this was your first call. Okay. Thanks for coming on this call, Ruthie. Southern California. Donna also. Awesome. I think I mentioned your name. Okay. I'm just going through all the questions. Can you quickly repeat the questions you're answering? We don't see the question on the screen. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Cool. Looks like we went through most of the questions. Any other questions? We got about maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Any questions? Okay. All right, guys. I'm giving you guys an opportunity to ask questions. If you guys want me or to take a look at a website, whatever. But as I mentioned, what I need you guys to do is if you want me to take a look at your website, let me know, first of all, your website address first, but also with that, what your goal is. What are you trying to do with the website? Okay. And you can't say, I want more leads. I need more of a plan. Are you guys trying to do SEO, PPC? What's the goal? Okay. Again, it's saying that I want more leads is just, it's not going to cut it. I always use this example. So some of you may be sick of it already, but you know, you're not going to walk into a gym today and tell a personal trainer, hey, I want to get into shape. Okay. That person's going to want to know what type of shape. Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to bulk up? Because depending on the type of shape that you want, that determines the type of exercise you'll need, the type of dieting that it will require. You know, so there's a lot of different elements. That's why I'm saying you need a goal. So make sure you send through your website address, your goal, and what you've done so far. Okay, and then I have something to work with. All right. Yes, Danielle, how do you connect active? It's really cool. Just reach out to support and they can help you integrate ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign can be integrated into Carrot. That's another reason why I love them. Very, very easy. So just reach out to support, and then they should have a tutorial that they can send you. But yes, it's something that you can integrate directly with Carrot, which is cool. What does sequencing? It just means that you can determine when when emails go out based on behavior. I mean, so there's a lot of tools that go into that. So, for an example, like if you send out an email to a buyer, or let's say you send out an email to a motivated seller and they don't open the email, you can say after 10 days to resend that email. So that's what I mean by sequences. You can set up in different scenarios. So hopefully that helps. Okay, Jordan, all right. Take a look. So Jordan, are they going to be using your website, your homepage? Do you know if you're using a homepage, or do you know if they're going to be doing a landing page for the PPC? Okay. So you're okay. So they're okay. So you're using your website, right? Not a landing page or a squeeze page, Jordan. Okay. So website looks good. One thing I probably will really encourage you guys to do, just simply because you guys are running with this brand, buddies buying houses. If you guys are going to use that, you definitely need to introduce who are the buddies. Okay. That's one of the first things I'd be curious about. So let me see. Let me look at something real quick. For me, it's a few things. I mean, like I said, I nitpick a lot. Again, it's because I want to maximize my efforts, right? So I never really like to use anything like cursive and this type of font and coloring. It kind of is hard. I would say it's really hard to read. So that's one. I don't like to have people. I don't like to have people work on my website, meaning they have to think or figure things out, right? That's why I like to have my stuff really plain and simple. See, even my fonts. Okay, so that might, I mean, if this is just a simple logo, I would say maybe make it easier to read, and even the coloring is a little camouflage. And this one, I would love for your tagline to be bigger too, where it's readable. So that'd be one. So the other thing is that if you guys are using the branding of Buddies Buying Houses or Buddies Buying houses, you need to introduce who are the buddies. Okay, just having these are kind of not enough, because it kind of means like it makes no sense contradicting yourself a little bit. And I'm not saying you're contradictive, but like if I was running, here's a good example. So let's say my domain name was Adrian Buys Houses. So obviously I decided to take the personal approach, right? Now what's going to happen naturally is people are going to wonder, who's Adrian? And if I'm not introducing myself, I'm kind of contradicting my brand, right? So that's kind of one of the things you kind of have to accept, is that when you kind of take a certain approach, you have to make yourself more visible, because you want everything to continue to mesh together. So I honestly think you guys need to, both of you, introduce yourselves in the company page. You know, who are the buddies? You know, so, Jordan one here, and then, let's see. So Jordan, you would have your own profile introduction, and then Matt would have his own picture and introduction. So that's really the only thing I would recommend, is make this more easy to read, because you don't want people to try to figure that out. And then the other thing is, again, just introducing yourselves. Maybe even do it on the homepage. Keep the theme of your brand running immediately. Hey, this is, we're, here, I'm Matt and Jordan. We're the buddies buying houses duel. Learn more on how, we can help you in your situation. Something like that. You know what I mean? So, so that's really the only thing that I see. Kind of, and no need to revamp the whole site or anything, but that's the only thing I see. Yep. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so you guys are already on board. So other than that, I would just do that. Just so you guys already are on the right track. But other than that, I don't see anything. I mean, I like it. It's different. Your content is different, which is great. The only concern I have is this, especially on mobile. You just don't want to lose anybody because they can't read, right? You just, like I said, you got to kind of be a nitpicker in a lot of ways. All right. Hopefully that helps. All right, here's another one. So Cody, can you check out our logo? CJ Sells Houses. Would like to add text like your local leader and what size mentions. That's probably a question more for support. I don't know the actual dimensions on that one, Cody. So I apologize. I don't know. But I would reach out to support, live chat, and I can, once this call is over, I can switch you back over there, and they can help you with the actual dimensions. I really don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not really the techie one on the team, but support can help you with that. You're welcome, Jordan. Barry, can we utilize the autoresponder from the first opt-in that would allow us to create more contacts with the same seller more than the first one? I think I know what you're saying, but I kind of also don't understand the question. Can we utilize this autoresponder? No. Let me know if this is wrong or not, but so the autoresponder is just a one-time. That's it. There's no way to resend it or schedule it later again. It's just one that goes out one time, and that's it. So you can't really create more contacts with them. If you want to send additional emails, you'll have to email them on maybe set up a follow-up schedule. However you want to set that. I don't know what CRM you use. If you do have a CRM, that's where CRMs are really good, guys, is that good CRM will have a good follow-up system for you. like the one I use, InvestorFuse, I'm able to set up follow-up emails, texts, different options, and we can schedule at different times. So, but as far as the carrier system, we just keep it really basic for now, and until we update it or upgrade it. Right now, it's just a one-time autoresponder, and there's no anything else you can do on top of that. Okay. Yep, you guys did a good job. Really cool. Yeah, awesome. You guys did a really good job on this website. Looks clean. I like it. So this is your cash buyer site. Yep, looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm really impressed with the company page. So great job on that. Let's see. I mean, if there's anything, maybe just a little, maybe let you say something, Cody, and then Janice can say something in her own words. Just just a little introduction, I would say, personal introductions. That's the only thing I see. Can we do? Okay, jumping back, can we do more than one time? No, that's what I was saying, Barry. The carrot system is it's not really a true email marketing system. Okay, it just has built in with the forms that an autoresponder goes out just one time and that's it. Yeah, so there's nothing more you can do after that. So again, we don't really, we don't have an email marketing system with the system. So because a true email marketing system has all these tools, like, that's why if you're looking for something like that, look into something like AfterCampaign or MailChimp or Aweber. Those are the most popular ones. Podio is not a good CRM for autoresponders. Well, Podio is a CRM. I mean, now they do include a marketing or email marketing into it. Just like anything else, some aspects of the CRM may not be great versus you going with a dedicated service to where they just focus on that. So I've been happy with it. But that's really up to you. All right, let's see. All right. Just going through all the questions. Looks answered. Bariki, you're supposed to optimize all your blog posts, right? Depending on what you mean by optimize. I mean, just like we talk about your website, when we talk about your home page and city pages, we always talk about you making tweaks to the web to those content. Same thing with blog articles. Yeah, you definitely want to go in there and make some changes. Make it your own a little bit more. So, not really sure what you mean by optimize. The articles are optimized already with the content that's in place, the keyword selection with each article. The only thing I would say is just make it more personable. So if there's something that you can add on to it that just makes sense to add on because of your local market, you definitely want to do that. So hopefully that answered the question. Hopefully. Okay, Ruthie, just starting out, wondering what you think about branding for SEO. Not sure I understand what you mean by branding for SEO. Bring up your website. Yeah, so real quick, We got a couple. Yeah. Oh, we're almost out of time. So real quick, Ruthie, if SEO is one of your like plans to get this website going, you definitely need to break down your website towards targeting each individual towns. But just by saying sell your house fast in cities within San Bernardino County, that's not going to cut it because Google does not know what those cities are. All they're going to see is the word San Bernardino. Ah, for some reason, tongue twister today. So if there's 10, this is what I would challenge you to do, Ruthie. Write down all the towns you want to target inside San Bernardino. Okay. So if that's 15 cities, write down all 15 cities and create pages for each of those areas. This is not going to really be effective when it comes to SEO just by putting in here cities within San Bernardino. Okay. You got to break it down by city. We do have, when you're logging to your account, it might seem a little bit different, but go to when you're first logging into your account, here's the help section. Go into the carrot guide, and the carrot guide, go to phase 1, and under localize right here says how to set up your city landing pages. This tutorial will help you set up your city pages. It'll show you, it'll walk you through, and you can create as many as you want on your website. Which is a pretty cool thing. So if you want to create additional 20 pages because you want to target 20 cities or towns inside San Bernardino, you can do that. Okay. So if SEO is really the way that you want to do it, you definitely need to break it down, break down your website to where you're targeting each area by city, and we show you how to do that inside the carrot guide. Phase 1, right here under localize. So that's the first thing that you need to do. So me personally, I mean, if SEO is your full game, you're not doing any direct mail, what I would do is write down all the cities that you want to target and choose one as your most important. Choose one that as your most important, and I would make that the focus of your homepage. Okay, make that the focus of your homepage. Because one thing too, guys, your homepage is your most powerful page. I like leveraging it by making sure it's targeting my most important city. Okay, and the reason why you want to break it down by city, typically most people will always search by city, not always by county. I'm not saying that that's always accurate, but for the most part, because people like to search for companies or services that are closest to them. So that's why people tend to search by city. So that's why I would rather have you set up your city pages that way than by county. Okay, and plus Google, you need to make sure they understand where you're trying to target. That's why it's very effective when you create one page that is focused just on one area, because then as Google has a clear understanding, then you can get that page ranking a lot faster, because Google doesn't rank websites. They rank pages. Okay, so they look at every page of your website separately. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But that's probably the biggest thing that I see is you need to break down your website to where it's targeting cities, not just by one page saying all these cities in San Bernardino. So if you're doing direct mail, again, kind of caution you. You know, I mean, you could keep the homepage. So if you're sending direct mail and you're targeting multiple areas, but you're sending the homepage, that's fine. So keep this San Bernardino County if you're sending people here for direct mail, and then but still create city pages for the areas for the SEO part. So does that make sense? Okay. All right, and I personally, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I'm not a big fan of having colored backgrounds just simply because of I want to just understanding the science of easy readability. I don't like to create distractions. And as I mentioned earlier, newspaper companies have really figured that out very well. That's why they used plain white with black text, because they understand the science of easy readability. So I'm not a big fan of anything that's colored in the background. So something considered to change back just to plain white. Again, sometimes plain and simple is best too. And plus it makes your text pop out a lot better too when it's just all white. So again, just something to consider there. Testimonials. If you're sending people to your site already, get some testimonials up. If you don't have any testimonials from deals, get some character-based testimonials. Get something in here. To me, credibility is very, very important. Get this background picture changed out. Make it more San Bernardino. Make it more local. You know, show your prospects that, hey, I'm a real local company. You know, we want to help you. You know, so set yourself apart that way too visually. All right, cool. Okay. All right, 4:01 on the dot. I gotta get going. But yeah, thank you guys, and thank you for those of you that were on the call earlier for being very patient. Technology just wasn't on our side today, and hopefully we can redo that call or summarize that call. It was really good stuff. It was terrible that we had a really bad connection, and so my apologies to you, because some of you were really anxious to hear that, and I'd be disappointed too. So again, my apologies. It's unfortunately just nothing I could do about it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out. Thank you so much for joining us today in your busy schedule. Always feel free to reach out to support. Make sure you're getting strategy calls set up with me. And I want to make sure you guys are crushing it. So please reach out and ask those questions. Nobody in this call should be stuck. You should always be reaching out because one, we're here to help you. You know, anything you're stuck on, let us help you get past that just so you're progressing. You know, there's no reason why you guys should not be dominating with these websites. If you guys are not getting results, something is wrong, or you just need more time if you're just starting out with Carrots. So some things are just a process. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm here for you. Anything I can do to serve you, please reach out, and hopefully we'll see you on next week's call. All right, thank you.